Hello everyone, welcome back. This is Aditya, and in this video we are going to observe depth first search and breadth first search on paper. So over here I have exactly two same maps, and we are going to do depth first search on the first one and then do the breadth first search on the other one, just to get the clear idea of what is the difference between the two and how the two operate. So starting from the green vertex, that is V0, uh, that stands for vertex 0, so we are going to call it v0. So we are starting from here, and this vertex has two neighbors, v1 and v2, right? And it can take anyone, it can visit anyone, it can be random. Let's say we visit vertex 1 first. So depth first search says we are going to just go on in that direction to the deepest node and then come back if there is no other depth possible. So what we are going to do is we are going to visit v1. So this is, we visit this one and we add it to scene. Also I have added this to scene as well. Then what we do is we visit v3 and we add it to scene. And also I like to make the result over here what we are having, what we are obtaining, right? So first of all we visited v0. We could have visited v2, but we chose v1. It can be random, so both is correct in this place. And when we do v1, then we go again to the next depth, that is depth of 2, so that is v3. And now we have options v4 and v5, so we can visit v4 or v5, it's up to us, and again both are correct. So for the namesake, let's say we visited v4, so we have visited, we have seen and added to the result as well. Now for v4 there is no other neighbor attached to it, so we cannot visit anyone, so we are gonna come back to v3. And what we do is we see, we again try to iterate over the next neighbor of v3. Is there a next neighbor of v3? Yes, there certainly is. So it's v5. So now we add v5 to the result, and we have visited it. We add it to our seen or visited dictionary. And when we are done with that, what we are going to do is we are going to come back to v3 again, because v5 does not have any new neighbor. We are here back at v3. Now v3 does not have any neighbor, that is not added to result and that is not seen yet, so we stop here. Now we again go back to v1. We have reached v1, and does v1 has a neighbor that is not seen yet, that we have not visited yet? No. So what we will do is we will come back to v0 now. Now we are at v0. Do v0 has neighbor that has not been seen yet? Well, v0 has two neighbors, v1 and v2. v1 is marked as seen, v2 isn't, so we are going to visit v2 now. And while we do so, we are going to add it to the result, and we also add it to scene. And with that we have traversed all the nodes. So this is how depth first search worked. Let's see how the breadth first search for the same graph works. Breadth first search will again start with v0, the green vertex. So that is the start point, and we add it to scene immediately, and also to the result as well. Now we have two choices, two neighbors, v1 and v2, and the breadth first search says that we also have a queue, right? So we have a queue and it has v0 on it. We pop it out and append the neighbors of v0 to the queue. So we have popped, and the moment we pop, it gets added to result and also to the scene, because we have traversed it now. So we add it to result and scene as well. So we have added v0, we popped v0, we added it to result and to scene. Then we pop v1, we we are at v1 now. We add v1 to result and scene. I'm going to mark it scene, and we add the neighbors of v1 to queue. So over here, I'll actually write queue at the bottom so that we have clear visibility. So this is popped, And now we are adding the neighbors of v1 to the queue. So we are appending it. So we append the neighbor of v1. What is the neighbor of v1? It's v3. We append v3 to the queue, and now we are going to pop the again pop from the queue. So v2 will be popped, uh, since Q pops from the front. So we popped V2. The moment we pop, what we are going to do is we are going to add it to result and also add it to scene. So I'm going to mark it scene. And we are going to add the neighbors of V2 to the queue which are not seen yet. The only neighbor of V2 is V0 and it is already marked scene. So we are not going to append anything to the queue here. Now we are going to pop from the queue again, and this time we are popping V3. So I'm going to add V3 immediately to the result and also mark it as seen. And on the queue, I'm going to add the neighbors of V3 to the queue. So the neighbors of V3 which are not marked as seen, the neighbors of V3 are V1, V4, V5. V1 is already marked seen, so I'm going to not add it to queue. I'm going to add V4 and V5 to the queue, and then I'm going to pop the v4 from queue. So the moment I pop, I want to add it to the result and also mark it as seen, and add the neighbors of v4 to the queue. V4 does not have any new neighbors, so we are not going to append anything to queue. Again, I will pop from the queue. I pop v5 from the queue and immediately I'll add it to result and also mark it as seen as well. So this is the result that we have for breadth first search, and this is the result for depth first search. And this is how we worked till the queue was empty, and the moment queue is empty, the breadth first search is over. We have visited all the nodes. And in the depth first search, the moment the recursion is over, we have visited all the nodes and we obtain the result. So this is just the demonstration of how depth first search and breadth first search looks like or works on the paper, or practically what happens. We have already coded it, but it was important to realize how the breadth first search and depth first search is working. Thank you. Next up, we will be solving problems.